Hello, and welcome to Yoga with Susan Kelly. This is your Monday class, and on Mondays we look at the theme ahead. Now, this week, on request, we are working, among other things, on arm strength. Okay, and I'm really pondering where the beginning of finding your arm strength is. Is it strong wrists, strong forearms, strong shoulder support? And I guess I'm thinking and imagining it's all of those things. So we're going to begin by finding your core, because I don't think we can work on our arms without our shoulders being supported. Okay, so I'd like you to lie on your back with your belt and legs bent and pick up your hips and put the belt underneath your navel. So it's not under the hips, but under the navel, and we're going to have the right elbow on the floor and enough of the belt to pull on. And let's use the left hand, all 5 fingers on your abdomen, and do a little cough and feel those muscles as they push up to your fingers, and then push down into the floor as those muscles push up. So your back's pushing down, but your abdomen's, or those core muscles, are pushing up slightly. And then let's check and pull on the right belt. Can you add your breath? Can you keep the work pressing up to the fingers? Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, let's take another breath. Good, and release completely. Okay, so those core muscles we need for our shoulders, and particularly these upper abdominal muscles. Okay, let's bring the feet up and come up. Bring the legs behind you. And now I want to really work on the wrists as the next part of this very interesting equation. Okay, so the hands need to be spread. Okay, and I want you to turn the hands out, and I'd like your hands to be as wide as your mat. Most mats are about the same width. And inhale and rock yourself forward. And exhale and rock yourself back. And then do that again. Inhale forward. And exhale back. And sit back on your heels for a moment. When we're using the hands, let's bring them together. We want to press the left hand to the right and the right hand to the left, or to whatever surface they're in. And the first point that tends to lift is the index finger knuckle. So can you, with your hands together like this, keep pushing your index finger knuckles towards each other, and then travel along the other knuckles to the little finger knuckle and keep them pressing down. Come back to the thumb and the index finger, and it's active like all of our yoga. We need to do it again and again and again to remember. Okay, so now let's bring our hands back on the floor, and I'd like you to turn your hands around now so that the hands are pointing in the other direction, and see if you can find that same even pressing. So 2 index finger knuckles, push them down, and then travel all the way across to below the little finger, and then come back to the thumb, the base of the thumb, and push that down, and it's active. The whole of the hands are pressing down. And now walk your knees backwards and add a stretch in your wrists, but really keep those hands pressing down as evenly and as actively as you can. Okay, so stretch in your wrists. Now can you reach all the way to your fingertips? Breathing in and breathing out. Good, so let's peel those hands off the floor and roll the wrists around. Yeah? So making circles with the wrists. I'd like you now to grab your fingers of the right hand and pull the fingers back, drop the shoulder down, and reach the wrist away. See if you can find a stretch in your wrist. Breathing, and start becoming really clear about what it feels like when the arm is straight. So push the arm straight, pull the fingers towards you. Breathing in and breathing out. And let's make a fist and roll that fist in. Yeah? I very commonly hear complaints about sore wrists. Okay, roll that wrist around, and let's come to the left side. So shoulder is down, push the arm straight. Let's be really clear about what a straight arm feels like. Pull the fingers towards you. Find that stretch, feel that stretch and breathe into it. Not too much, not too little, a bit like Goldilocks. But keep being curious about what a straight arm feels like. Good, okay. And let's make a fist, squeeze that in, and now we have the wrists a little more open. Okay, so let's check on that now. So push your hands down, and now I want to work out how to add the core. Okay, so inhale and lift your head and lift your sitting bones. So let's say the front body is now close to the floor. And exhale, curl the back so the chin comes to the chest and the whole of the front body's lifting. And now find somewhere in between where the front body continues to lift. Yeah? And now what we need to add is we need to not have the hands just resting. We need to push the hands down. So that's active as well. And now bend your arms, elbows out to the sides. Yeah? Reconnect with your hands. And now as you push the hands down, can you push the arms straight? And then continue that action. Round your back slightly, push your chest forward. Okay, so we're now ready to weight bear. We're ready to build the strength in our arms. Okay, so step the right leg back, check on your hands, and step the left leg back. And let's be here in plank, pushing the hands down. How do we grow the strength? Well, I guess we need to stay a little bit longer than is comfortable. And keep pushing the hands down, keep the action in your hands, keep rounding your back. And now as the chest goes forward, can you push your heels backwards? Yeah? Can you squeeze the legs towards each other? How do we find more of the body here? We're breathing in and breathing out. I probably should have said another timer to see how long we're going to stay in plank. But anyway, let's just take one more breath. Strong body, strong arms, strong wrists. And then bring the knees down and sit back on your heels. Let's roll those wrists around. Okay. Now, in addition to straight arms and shoulder support, we really do want the forearms to work. So we're going to do some more arm strengthening, but make sure that we're using as much of the arms as we can. So see the shape of my blocks? It'd be really good if you had blocks for this. I'd like you to bring your hands in front of the blocks and then your elbows down and squeeze the blocks with your forearms. Lift your hands. Make sure you've got those forearms working. Then return the hands to the floor so they're active and pressing down, and then pick up the blocks. So walk yourself forward so you've got your shoulders right over your wrists, forearms are squeezing in because that's what's holding the blocks. And then let's lift your front body and step back to plank. So arm strength, but we want the whole body to be working. Yeah, so the spine is moving forward, the heels are moving back, and no spaces under the hands. Have a look at them, and then look forward. Lift your front body, reach your heels away. Keep squeezing those blocks towards each other so that the forearms engage. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's take one more breath. Push the floor away. Push the floor away. And then bring the knees down and return the blocks to the floor. Okay, so we can use that same block action in dog pose, which is what we're going to do now. And I can see we've got 1.5 minutes on the clock, and we're going to spend that time in dog pose because dog pose also will help you with your arm strength. Grab your blocks, lift your hands, bring the hands down, lift your blocks, lift your front body, step back to plank. That's our measurement for dog pose. And then lift the hips, and let's travel back to dog pose. We're not particularly concerned about our hamstrings today. So whether your heels are in the air or down on the floor, that's up to you. I know you can't see your hands now, but can you reach to the fingertips? Can you keep the action across all your knuckles? And you're squeezing the block evenly left to right, right to left to keep the forearms working, the sitting bones are lifting. We're breathing in
And breathing out. Hang in there. So as your mind is challenged, be curious. What do I need to do? How can I soften? How can I stay open? How can I find my strength when I really need it? Breathing in and breathing out. We're always cultivating our curiosity. Yeah, that's what lets us step forward lightly. Take one last breath. And lift the heels. Bring the knees down. Bring the blocks down.
And sit back on your heels. Okay, now it's not that we can ever work one part of the body without the other, but we worked our way up the arms today, and you could do this again and again and again to grow your arm strength. You could use a timer and see if you can stay a bit longer in plank or dog pose, but really making sure that you've got correct technique. Yeah, so don't hang on the joints, don't do any of that without your core, otherwise you might just injure yourself. It's always quality over quantity. 10 good seconds in plank is better than 60 bad seconds. Okay, bad's probably a bit of a judgment. 60 seconds without support. Okay, that's a wrap for our Monday class, and I look forward to exploring this with you during the week. Namaste.